Neil Sparks had one of the most unique experiences connected with this hospital. He watched it being built in the late 1930s. And he's going to tell you some things about growing up at 11th and Urbana. All of you have remembered some great things about the good teachers you had. Neil still remembers some good lessons in football. Not from playing, but from practicing. Even though he didn't play much, he had perseverance and dedication. Throughout his 3 years on the squad, he never missed a practice and he was never late. Lessons that served him well throughout his military career. About an hour ago, I met his daughter Meredith and I said, was he really that punctual all the time? And she said yes. I hope you get a chance to meet Neil and meet his good friend Butch. They met outside Hanoi in 1967, where Butch needed a ride back to safety from a hostile area. Neil's helicopter takeoff from an aircraft carrier were a challenge itself, depending on pitching and rolling and weather. And then while the rescue is underway, the helicopter is under fire and Neil hovers close to the ground for 20 minutes while they get Butch on board. And after at one point Neil turned around, pretty well screamed to the rest of his other 3-member crew, and he said, "Is he on board yet?" And after a few seconds of silence, there was a calm hand that put down Neil's right shoulder. It was Butch. "We can go now." I will never complain about waiting for a 90-second stoplight in Tulsa again. Butch had written a note back, and I want to read part of what he said about that rescue. During that rescue near Hanoi, under conditions of intense enemy fire, Neil showed a high sense of duty, selflessness, perseverance, coolness, flawless airmanship, and extraordinary courage to bring a fellow naval aviator back to the fold. As it stands, it saved me from a POW time, or possibly worse. Shortly after that rescue, Mary and Butch were married, and subsequently over the last 45 years, they raised 7 children and who've given them 20 grandchildren. None of those would have been possible if Neil had not rescued Butch in Vietnam in 1967.
I want to thank the Foundation for inducting me to the Hall of Fame tonight. It's a great honor and I thank you very much. I also want to thank my classmate, Robert Dean Jones, for nominating me. I've had long association with Low Rikers. My folks bought a house at 11th and Urbana in 1939. There weren't very many houses then, but I could look from my house and see Will on the hill. I went to Franklin Elementary School, a few blocks away. My mother had me to go to Will Rogers Summer Camp. Franklin Elementary School, a few blocks away. My mother had me to go to Will Rogers Summer Camp and watched movies forever. And I walked back and we played, and by the way, give it up to
I received information on July 16, 1967, that a pilot was down. An F-8 Crusader was shot down by surface-to-air missiles during a suppression mission. It was too late in the day to attempt a rescue, so the mission would be assigned to me the very next day. I was serving on the USS Constellation with a detachment of 6 armored H-3 helicopters, 7 air crew, maintenance and support personnel. Combat rescue is one of the most demanding jobs a helicopter pilot can encounter. I had 2 brothers serving in Vietnam at the same time I was. My older brother, John, who graduated from Royal Rogers in 1950, was a Marine in I Corps in the north part of South Vietnam. My younger brother graduated in 1958, was in the Army, and he was in the central part of South Vietnam, and I was off the carrier, but they read about my rescue in the Stars and Stripes the next day. The downed pilot was Lieutenant Commander Demetrio Butch Barrich, 35, was about 20 miles southwest of Hanoi, North Vietnam, on a limestone karst ridge. At the base of this ridge was the North Vietnamese Army training camp. After dawn, several Navy aircraft arrived at Barrich's last known location, which was part of one of the largest naval rescue operations of the Vietnam War. Our crew planned to fly around the reported anti-aircraft artillery and missile position. Departing from the carrier, we flew to the North Vietnamese coastline, then 60 miles west to the Laotian border, followed by 100-mile north along North Vietnamese border with Laos, with escort aircraft to protect me. After hearing popcorn sounds all the way in around the helicopter, which happened to be small arms fire from the hundreds of people who were trying to find the downed pilot. Then bang, a momentary loss of control. The helicopter was hit quick, but I quickly regained control. A bullet went through the generator control, knocking out our automatic stabilization equipment, radio, navigation equipment, airspeed and altimeter system, fuel pump, and a lot of other stuff. My co-pilot asked, "What are we going to do now?" "We're still flying," I said. "We're going to pick him up. Take off your helmet and use your survival radio to tell him we're staying." After arriving in the recovery area, Butch Barrich fired a flare and the escort aircraft marked his position. I said, "We're going to go in and get him." Someone asked me one time, "Why did I do this?" I flew that in because I had a mission. We were trained to do this, and that was my job. After 20 minutes in a hover and 3 attempts, the hoist operator said, "We got him. Let's get the hell out of here."
One time, bro. All right, we're putting the other piece.
First, I wanted to make sure that he was in the aircraft. I didn't want him hanging out where he might be hit by ground fire. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder and heard a voice say, "We can go now." I pulled power and flew away from the ground fire.